Hello there, and welcome to the Science for Sleepy Minds channel. Tonight, we'll wander into the quiet world of Earth, the planet beneath our feet, and the only home we've ever known. Not the busy world of cities or noise, but the calm, patient Earth that turns silently through space. We'll drift through oceans that stretch beyond the horizon, across deserts that remember the wind, through forests that breathe in time with our own lungs. We'll look at the slow patterns that shape continents, the invisible layers of air that cradle our lives, and the soft rhythms that hold everything in balance. Earth has been here for more than 4 billion years. It has seen warmth and ice, calm and fire, silence and song. And through it all, it has kept turning, a steady rhythm in the vast stillness of space. Every mountain, every grain of sand, every drop of rain carries a story written over ages. Stories of pressure and patience, of motion so slow, we can only imagine it. Imagine for a moment that you are far above the planet, looking down from space. You see a blue and white sphere turning quietly in the dark. The oceans glimmer like glass, clouds drift in endless shapes, and a thin veil of atmosphere glows softly around the edge. From here, Earth looks peaceful, small, complete, alive. Every heartbeat, every wave, every whisper of wind is part of its pulse. Beneath those clouds, mountains rise and erode in silence. Rivers carve their way to the sea. Forests exhale the oxygen you breathe, and deep within the crust, molten rock slowly shifts the shape of continents. Even when you sleep, the planet keeps moving, carrying you through space at 1,000 miles an hour, spinning toward morning light. It never stops. It never rushes. It just continues, quietly. The surface of Earth is always changing, yet it remains familiar. We measure time in minutes and days, but Earth measures in eons. Every rock beneath your home was once part of something older. Every raindrop has fallen countless times before. Every breath of air carries molecules once breathed by ancient forests and animals long gone. Nothing is lost here, only transformed. And so, tonight, we'll explore the calm facts of this planet we call home. Facts that remind us how stable and gentle the universe can be when we listen closely. Chapter 1: The Birth of Earth. Before there were oceans, forests, or sky, there was only dust. Imagine drifting through space 4.5 billion years ago. There is no blue planet yet. No moon to brighten the night. No sound, no waves, no wind. Only silence, stretching endlessly. A young star burns at the center, our sun, still finding its strength, surrounded by a thin halo of gas and cosmic debris. Through that darkness, dust begins to move. Tiny grains of metal and ice, drifting aimlessly, start to feel the pull of gravity, a gentle force drawing them together. Each collision creates warmth, a spark, a whisper of something forming. They stick, separate, and collide again, over and over, for millions of years. From chaos, a faint rhythm begins. Matter collecting in slow circles, orbiting the star like a thought taking shape. If you could watch from afar, it would look like a great cosmic dance, swirling ribbons of dust, colliding, clumping, glowing faintly in the black. Each fragment adds weight to the growing sphere, each grain a small promise of what will become a world. The forming planet gathers more material, pulling in asteroids and fragments from the ancient solar cloud. It grows denser, hotter, more defined. And then, at last, it becomes heavy enough to shape itself, gravity sculpting it into a sphere, smooth and whole. This was the beginning of Earth, born from the remnants of older stars, forged in gravity's quiet patience. The dust that had once floated freely in the dark now burns with light and heat. Collisions grow fierce. The young Earth glows red, its surface alive with magma, rivers of molten rock flowing across a restless crust. Above, vapor and gas rise in columns, cloaking the planet in a thick, toxic haze. It is a world of fire, violent, unformed, and magnificent. The heat is unimaginable. Every inch of the planet churns with movement. Metals sink toward the center, pulled by gravity, creating a core of molten iron and nickel. This core becomes Earth's beating heart, generating heat that will one day power volcanoes, move continents, and create the magnetic field that protects life itself. Above it, the lighter elements, silicon, oxygen, aluminum, drift upward, forming the rocky crust. Layer by layer, the foundation of the world begins to solidify. And even through that chaos, something remarkable is already happening. In the balance between destruction and creation, the laws of physics quietly do their work. The planet, though hot and turbulent, begins to stabilize. Each eruption releases gases that build an atmosphere: carbon dioxide, nitrogen, water vapor. It is unbreathable to us, thick, heavy, and full of storms. Yet it is the first whisper of what will one day become the air. Over millions of years, the fiery glow begins to fade. The surface cools, forming solid land. Meteorites still fall, carving deep scars into the crust. Each impact delivers new minerals, and perhaps tiny traces of ice from the far reaches of the solar system. The world remains restless, but its rhythm is slowing. It is learning to breathe. From chaos came balance. From heat, the first hint of calm. The wild, molten world settles into quiet rotation. Mountains rise and crumble. Lava hardens into stone. And from that stone, the first continents are born, jagged islands in a vast ocean of fire. The sky above, once filled with smoke and ash, begins to thin. Light from the young sun touches the surface for the first time, glinting off molten rock, scattering through the mist like gold dust. If you could stand there, you would see a world still trembling with energy, a planet on the edge of becoming. The ground beneath you would shimmer with heat, the air heavy with vapor and ash. Yet within that fiery silence, everything needed for life already exists. Every mineral, every gas, every atom waits for its moment to combine, to cool, to transform. The building blocks of oceans and clouds lie hidden in the haze, waiting for release. And even now, as you listen, those same atoms live within you. Every particle in your body, carbon, calcium, iron, was born in the heart of a long-dead star. When that star exploded, its ashes drifted through space and gathered into the cloud that formed our solar system. You are made of that same matter, the same dust that built mountains and rivers, that cooled into stone, that lit with fire. You are, in a quiet and literal sense, a piece of the planet that became aware of itself. Time, at this point, is vast beyond measure. Millions of years pass like moments in this story. The Earth spins faster than it does today, its days lasting only a few hours. The moon does not yet exist, it will soon form, born from a colossal collision that will change everything. But for now, Earth is alone, a glowing sphere wrapped in mist and silence. And yet, in that silence, something extraordinary begins to happen. The world cools enough for vapor to condense. The clouds that once shrouded the planet grow heavy. Rain begins to fall, at first in steam, then in torrents. It hisses as it touches the hot stone, turning to vapor and falling again, an endless cycle of storm and heat. For thousands of years, it rains without pause, water carving new shapes into the land. Craters become lakes. Valleys become rivers. The surface darkens as steam gives way to reflection. Slowly, the fire fades into blue. The rain, persistent and patient, gathers into vast basins. And those basins join together, forming the first oceans, shimmering under a dim young sun. From the ashes of stars and the heat of creation, water emerges, calm, steady, eternal. The same water that fills our seas today, that flows through rivers, clouds, and veins, began here, in this moment. The earth, once a furnace, now becomes a cradle. Its surface cools to stone. Its atmosphere clears enough for light to pass through. And where once there was dust, there is now color. The silver of rock, the blue of new oceans, the pale gold of dawn. The transformation is complete, though the story is far from over. A world that began in fire now holds the possibility of life. The elements, the water, the warmth, all the ingredients are here, waiting for the next quiet miracle to unfold. From chaos came balance. From fire, calm. And from dust, a living world. Every rock and element around us was once part of that same cloud of dust, ancient, patient, waiting. Even now, as you listen, the atoms in your body carry that memory. You are made of the same matter that built the world. And once the fire cooled, something extraordinary began to happen. The earth started to collect water. Chapter 2: The Arrival of the Oceans. Before there was blue, there was steam. Imagine a world shrouded in mist, its surface still hot, the ground trembling beneath mountains newly born. Volcanoes erupt endlessly, spewing ash and vapor into the thick, gray air. The sky glows faintly orange from molten rivers below. Everywhere you look, the land ripples with heat, a young planet wrapped in storms. And then, it begins to rain. At first, the rain hisses as it touches the burning rock, turning instantly back into vapor. It rises, cools, and falls again, repeating for centuries. The sound of it never stops, a steady rhythm of evaporation and return, the planet's first true cycle. Steam curls through the valleys, and the world becomes a dreamscape of cloud and fire. Slowly, very slowly, the balance begins to shift. As the surface cools, the rain no longer vanishes into vapor. It lingers. It gathers in hollows and cracks, pooling in basins carved by molten rivers. Tiny rivulets merge into streams, streams into rivers, and rivers into something larger, the first seas. What was once a glowing red world begins to shimmer with liquid light. The colors of the planet change. Gray stone softens to blue reflection, and the air fills with the scent of water on cooling Earth. Scientists believe Earth's water came from two places, part born from within, part delivered from afar. Deep inside the young planet, trapped hydrogen and oxygen escaped through volcanic vents, forming steam that condensed into rain. At the same time, icy asteroids and comets, ancient wanderers of the solar system, collided with Earth, releasing their frozen cargo. Each impact added more water to the growing reservoirs, a cosmic gift from beyond. In this way, the Earth's oceans were not just earthly, they were universal. They were born from both fire and ice, from the fusion of sky and stone. Over time, these waters joined together. They filled the great depressions of the crust, merging into vast, interconnected basins. The first global tides began to move under the pull of a newborn moon, whose own birth had come from a massive collision that reshaped the planet. Day after day, wave after wave, the Earth was sculpted by the quiet persistence of water. It carved valleys, smoothed cliffs, and gathered minerals from the land, carrying them into its depths. From these minerals and sunlight would later come chemistry, and from chemistry, life. The transformation was profound. The Earth, once a glowing sphere of fire, had become something entirely new, a water world. Oceans covered nearly 3/4 of its surface, reflecting sunlight back into the sky. Clouds formed from evaporation, cooled by high winds, and fell again as rain. A perfect cycle had begun, one that continues, unbroken, to this very night. The first oceans were not calm. Their waters boiled under the heat of a young sun, their waves crashing against bare volcanic islands. Yet beneath that turbulence, something sacred was taking shape. Minerals dissolved into the seawater, creating a chemical richness that would later serve as the foundation of biology. Lightning flashed across the horizon, striking the surface again and again. Each spark carried energy, rearranging simple molecules into more complex forms: amino acids, proteins, the seeds of life. And though no eyes existed yet to see it, the stage was being set for everything to come. It's humbling to think that every ocean wave today, every tide, every droplet traces its lineage back to this ancient rain. The same water that now laps at your feet on a beach once hissed against molten stone. The water in your glass, the mist in the air, the tears in your eyes all carry atoms that have cycled through the planet for billions of years. Through clouds, through rivers, through veins and roots and skies, always returning, always renewing. Water never truly disappears. It only changes form, moving through everything, connecting everything. When sunlight touches the surface of the sea, some of it evaporates, rising back into the air. When clouds drift inland, they release rain onto the soil. Plants drink it, animals consume it, and eventually it returns once more to the ocean. It is the quiet heartbeat of the planet, the hydrologic cycle, and it has been steady since the beginning. Each drop plays its part, joining and leaving, always in motion. In time, these young oceans began to calm. The storms softened, and light began to reach deeper into the water. The Earth's rotation slowed slightly, the moon stabilizing its tilt. The planet found rhythm day and night, tide and stillness, warmth and cool. In that balance, chemistry began to work in earnest. Simple molecules met, combined, and formed the first self-sustaining reactions. It would still take hundreds of millions of years for life to appear, but the foundation, the stage was ready. The oceans were now a cradle, gently rocking the ingredients of existence. Imagine it, a vast expanse of endless water, glimmering under a young sun, reflecting light into a golden haze. No continents yet, no green, no sound but wind and wave. And yet, within that silence, something stirs, invisible, potential, alive in waiting. The first whispers of life begin here, though they cannot yet be seen. They move not in heartbeat or breath, but in chemistry and rhythm, the subtle dance of molecules learning to organize themselves. Every wave that touches the shore today is connected to that first drop. Every ripple is part of a chain that began when Earth cooled from fire to stone. The sound of rain outside your window tonight is the echo of the planet's first storm. It carries the same rhythm, the same pulse, the same persistence. Even now, water remembers. Water holds memory of time, of movement, of change. It has flowed through every creature that ever lived, through every root and vein, through glaciers and clouds and storms. It is the planet's oldest traveler, and it always finds its way home. The water you drink has passed through countless lives before yours, and will continue long after. It connects you, quietly, to everything that has ever been alive. And so, from fire and stone, from vapor and dust, the earth found its calm. The blue of the oceans became its defining color, a reflection of light, of life, of balance. Above them, clouds gathered in slow, silent shapes, drifting across the sky like soft thoughts. And from that sky, another miracle began to form, invisible, essential, and everlasting. The earth began to breathe. The first atmosphere thickened, and with it came protection, the shield that would allow life not just to exist, but to thrive. And above those early oceans, something invisible began to form, a breath of air that would protect and sustain all life to come. Chapter 3: The Sky Above. Every breath you take is older than you think. Picture a sky without color. At first, it was filled with gases like methane and carbon dioxide, thick and hazy. Slowly, sunlight began to break through, scattering blue light across the upper layers. Clouds began to gather, drifting softly over new continents. The air cooled. The world began to breathe. Earth's atmosphere was born from volcanic gases and the slow work of ancient microbes that released oxygen into the air. As oxygen increased, it transformed the sky and built a shield against harmful radiation. Over time, this delicate balance created the conditions that allowed plants, animals, and humans to live. Even now, the atmosphere stretches upward for more than 60 miles, a thin, fragile layer that wraps the planet in safety. When you breathe in, you're sharing a connection with every living thing that ever existed. Each molecule of air has traveled through countless lungs, leaves, and winds before reaching you. It's a reminder of how deeply everything is connected through something as simple as a breath. And within that sky, sunlight began to weave patterns of color and warmth, the gentle rhythm that guides every living thing on Earth. Chapter 4: The Light of the Sun. All life on Earth is written in sunlight. Imagine standing beneath a soft golden glow. Light filters through clouds, touches leaves, dances on water. It feels warm but silent, a steady heartbeat from 93 million miles away. Without a sound, it travels across space, reaching the planet after 8 quiet minutes. Sunlight powers everything we know. It drives the weather, feeds the plants, and shapes the flow of energy through every living system. When sunlight reaches Earth, some is absorbed by the oceans and land, while some bounces back into space. This balance keeps the planet's temperature steady, neither too hot nor too cold. Through photosynthesis, plants turn sunlight into energy, releasing oxygen for animals and humans. It is a perfect, silent exchange that has continued for billions of years. Every sunrise is older than the mountains. Every ray that touches your skin once traveled across a dark and endless distance just to reach you. Light connects the cosmos to the surface of the sea, and in that connection, the planet finds its rhythm. But beneath that bright light, something else was forming, the solid bones of the Earth itself. Chapter 5: The Living Rock. The ground beneath your feet is never truly still. Picture the surface of the planet as a vast puzzle of plates, drifting slowly over molten rock. Mountains rise, oceans widen, continents drift apart and meet again. Beneath everything lies a hidden current, magma flowing quietly, carrying the memory of fire. Earth's crust is divided into tectonic plates that move a few centimeters each year. Their motion shapes the land, builds volcanoes, and causes earthquakes. Deep below, the mantle churns with heat, driving this slow dance of creation and renewal. Rocks formed in ancient seas rise into mountain peaks, only to be worn down again by wind and time. This cycle has no beginning and no end, only movement and change. What seems solid is always in motion. Even the most ancient stone beneath your feet has traveled across oceans of time. In this endless cycle, the Earth reminds us that change can be slow, steady, and full of grace. And where rock meets air and water, life quietly begins to take hold, soft green forms on the surface of ancient stone. Chapter 6: The First Spark of Life. Life began in darkness, not in sunlight, but in the deep. Imagine the ancient ocean, 4 billion years ago. No fish, no coral, no color, only a silent sea beneath a dim sky. Hydrothermal vents rise from the seafloor, releasing warm minerals into the water. Tiny bubbles form and break, carrying chemical whispers into the surrounding darkness. Scientists believe that life began in places like these deep sea vents, rich in heat and minerals. Here, energy from Earth's interior mixed with simple molecules like carbon and nitrogen, creating the first organic compounds. Over time, these compounds joined to form self-replicating molecules, the earliest ancestors of all living things. From that moment, the planet was no longer silent. It began to breathe, to grow, to evolve. Life did not appear in sunlight or on land, but in quiet darkness nurtured by warmth and patience. It reminds us that beginnings often come from places unseen. Even now, deep beneath the waves, those same vents continue to breathe, keeping Earth's first story alive. And as life took root beneath the sea, another quiet miracle was forming above the ground that would one day support forests, mountains, and us. Chapter 7: The Soil Beneath. Every forest, every flower, every step begins in the soil. Beneath the grass, a hidden world hums softly. Grains of sand cling to fragments of leaf and stone. Tiny roots weave through tunnels, and unseen creatures move in silence, shaping the ground below. Each handful of soil holds more living organisms than there are people on Earth. Soil forms slowly as rocks break down under wind, water, and time. Microbes, fungi, and insects work together to recycle organic matter, turning death into nourishment. This delicate balance allows plants to grow, absorbing nutrients and passing them up through stems and leaves. It's a system of quiet collaboration, one that has supported life for hundreds of millions of years. The soil beneath your feet is alive, a living fabric that connects every forest, every garden, every breath. When you walk across the ground, you are touching an ancient, ongoing conversation between the planet and its smallest inhabitants. And from that fertile ground, the first great green shapes began to rise, forests that would one day teach the earth how to breathe. Chapter 8: The Forest Breath. A forest is not silent. It only speaks slowly. Picture the morning mist rising through tall trees. The air is cool, damp, and full of quiet movement. Leaves shimmer with dew, birds call softly, and beneath the roots, an unseen network pulses with life. If you could listen closely, you might hear it, the earth inhaling. Forests act as the planet's lungs. Through photosynthesis, trees absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen, keeping Earth's air balanced. Their roots connect through underground fungi, a living web known as the Wood Wide Web. This network allows trees to share nutrients and even send signals of distress or warning. Every forest is a living community, breathing together in rhythm. When you stand beneath a tree, you are part of that breath, part of the quiet exchange that keeps the planet alive. It's a reminder that strength can be silent, and connection can exist without words. As forests breathe on land, something similar happens across the surface of the water, where rivers begin their long, gentle journey back to the sea. Chapter 9: The Journey of Rivers. Every river is a traveler, returning home. High in the mountains, snow melts into streams. They trickle through valleys, over stones, gathering strength with every turn. Along the way, they carve canyons, feed forests, and mirror the sky. Their song is patient, a steady whisper shaping the land. Rivers are nature's sculptors. They carry minerals, sediment, and life from mountains to oceans. Over time, they shape landscapes, create fertile plains, and sustain ecosystems. Many rivers also serve as natural temperature regulators, helping balance climates and feed underground aquifers. Even in the deepest desert, traces of ancient rivers remain, memories of water that once flowed freely. A river never hurries, yet it always arrives. Its motion is a quiet lesson in persistence that even the smallest stream, given time, can carve through stone. Every drop knows the way home. And when those rivers finally reach the open ocean, they join a vast and living body, the true heart of the planet. If you've enjoyed this quiet journey through the heart of our planet, consider leaving a gentle trace behind. A like, a subscribe, or even a small reflection in the comments. Each one helps another wandering, sleepless mind find its way here. One sleepy soul at a time. But for now, there is nothing more you need to do. No more thoughts to chase, no more moments to reach. Just let everything slow. Let the rhythm of the earth carry you, the same rhythm that has turned for billions of years. Breathe in the cool stillness. Feel your body soften, as if sinking gently into the soil of a quiet forest after rain. Good night. May your thoughts drift gently, like the stories that live beneath the surface.